Hi there, welcome back to another interesting session of learning the facts. Today we are going to learn some important facts about food wastage. Let us start with a small introduction. When hunger and malnutrition rates significantly increase on a local, national, or international scale, there is a food crisis. In this planet, up to 783 million people suffer from chronic hunger. Almost 10% of individuals worldwide go to bed hungry every night. The issue of world hunger is not related to scarcity. Currently, there is enough food produced worldwide to feed every man, woman, and child. However, almost one-third of all food produced annually is lost or wasted before it can be eaten. Indeed, food waste is a major issue in today's globe. What is food wastage? Food waste frequently refers to food that is not eventually consumed by people and is thrown away or recycled. Examples of this include rotting food, peels and rinds deemed inedible, and plate waste, which is food that has been provided but not eaten. The following categories apply to this trash depending on where it happens. Food loss happens when problems arise during the manufacturing, storing, processing, and distribution stages before the food is consumed. Food waste is food that is fit for consumption but is purposefully thrown away during the retail or consumption stages. Important facts about food wastage. 1. Global food loss and waste account for one-third of the food produced for human use. This is equivalent to 1.3 billion tons annually, or almost $1 trillion. 2 billion people could be fed by all the food produced but never consumed. That is more than twice as many undernourished people as there are in the world. 3. Consumers in rich countries waste almost as much food as the entire net food production of sub-Saharan Africa each year. 4. Post-harvest and processing losses account for 40% of losses in developing nations, whereas retail and consumer losses account for over 40% of losses in developed nations. Today, we are going to see the list of 5 countries with at most food wastage. We are going to see the list based on the per capita wastage. If you are not familiar to statistical analysis, per capita means the average per person. For example, if a country has a population of 1,000 people, has a food wastage of 100 kilograms, then the per capita food wastage is equals 100 kg/1000 equals 0.1 kilograms. Now let us see the list of countries. Number 5. Malta. Food waste per capita equals 129. Malta is an island country in southern Europe, located in the Mediterranean Sea. It consists of an archipelago between Italy, Tunisia, and Libya. Malta is the 10th smallest country by area and 5th most densely populated sovereign country, with a population of about 518,000 over an area of 316 square kilometers. Malta is classified as an advanced economy according to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Malta's major resources are limestone, a favorable geographic location, and a productive labor force. The economy is dependent on foreign trade, serving as a freight transshipment point, manufacturing, especially electronics and textiles, and tourism. Malta produces only about 20% of its food needs, has limited fresh water supplies because of the drought in the summer, and has no domestic energy sources, aside from the potential for solar energy from its plentiful sunlight. According to timesofmalta.com article, published on September 2023. While food losses occur at all points along the supply chain, from food production to retail, more than half of food is wasted at home and Malta is one of the biggest culprits. Based on official figures, every person generates more than 135 kilograms of food waste. It is estimated that 45% of fruit and vegetables are wasted annually and never make it for human consumption. Malta is dedicated to achieving a sustainable development goal, which calls for reducing food losses throughout the food production and supply chains and having per capita food waste at the retail and consumer level by 2030. Malta is one of the nations with legislation-based programs in place to regulate and minimize food waste. So, let us hope Malta will reduce the food wastage. Number 4. Bahrain. Food waste per capita equals 132. Bahrain, officially the Kingdom of Bahrain, is an island country in West Asia. It comprises a small archipelago made up of 50 natural islands and an additional 33 artificial islands. Bahrain is situated between Qatar and the northeastern coast of Saudi Arabia. The population of Bahrain is 1,501,635 as of May 14, 2023. Bahrain's economy is expanding at the highest rate among Arab nations, according to a United Nations assessment from January 2006. According to reports from the Wall Street Journal and the Heritage Foundation, Bahrain also boasts the most open economy in the Middle East. Bahrain imports most of its fruit consumption requirements and a large portion of its meat from Australia in order to feed its expanding population. According to frontiersin.org. The current dietary habits in Bahrain are marked by high consumption of red and processed meat and low intake of fruits and vegetables. Both of these traits of food consumption lead to high CO2 emissions, water and energy use. According to a UN research, Bahrainis waste the most food out of all Arabs, averaging 132 kilograms per person per year. The Kingdom of Bahrain's total food waste for the last year was 146,000 tons, or around 95 million dinars. In Bahrain, contrary to the fundamentals of sustainability, people are becoming more and more wasteful as a result of hyperconsumption and rising living standards. All socioeconomic levels exhibit the phenomena of food waste and the startling quantities of food waste that occur. Sadly, a significant amount of food is wasted during Ramadan, which is known as the holy month of fasting in the Islamic calendar. Ironically, one of Ramadan's primary goals is to raise awareness of the true worth of food and hunger, yet regrettably, more food is wasted during the month of Ramadan. Other Middle East countries like Saudi, Kuwait, Oman, Dubai etc. also has high food waste. Number 3. Greece. Food waste per capita equals 142. Greece, officially known as the Hellenic Republic, is a country in Southeast Europe, with a population of 10.64 million. According to World Bank statistics for the year 2013, the economy of Greece is the 43rd largest by nominal gross domestic product. Food waste happens in several stages in developed nations like Greece, with the home use stage accounting for the highest percentage, 42%, of food waste. Greece produces around 300,000 tons of domestic food waste annually, according to a study conducted by the Research Institute of Retail Consumer Goods, IELKA. Greece throws away 1.48 million tons of food annually, nearly twice as much as Romania, a country with twice as many people. Greece addresses the problem of food waste through creative, socially conscious initiatives started by NGOs and private citizens. A non-profit organization called Borum distributes extra food for charitable causes across Greece in an effort to combat food waste. Bread in Action gathers and provides vast quantities of cooked or edible food leftovers to needy service centers. Additionally, as of February 2014, food donations are free from value-added tax per Law 4238/2014, Article 461. Number 2. Rwanda. Food waste per capita equals 164. Rwanda is a landlocked country with a population of 13.46 million in the Great Rift Valley of Central Africa. During the 1994 genocide, Rwanda's economy was severely damaged due to the large-scale casualties, poor infrastructure upkeep, looting, and disregard for vital cash crops. As a result, the GDP fell significantly and the nation's capacity to draw in both domestic and foreign investment was lost. Since then, the economy has grown stronger. In 2022, per capita nominal GDP was expected to reach $909.90, compared to $127 in 1994. The majority of Rwanda's economy is derived from subsistence farming carried out by locals with basic implements. An estimated 90% of people in the workforce are farmers, and in 2014, agriculture contributed an estimated 32.5% of GDP. Simple farming methods are used on tiny land parcels and steep inclines. More than a third of the nation's soil is used for growing matoke, or green bananas, along with potatoes, beans, sweet potatoes, cassava, wheat, and maize as subsistence crops. Despite Rwanda's rich environment, food imports are necessary because food production frequently cannot keep up with population growth. Nonetheless, things have become better recently because to the expansion of agriculture. In Rwanda, post-production and storage issues are the main causes of food waste. For instance, Rwanda wastes 49% of its tomato production due to a deficiency of effective cold storage facilities. Another illustration is the 25% waste of maize produced, which results from contaminants and high moisture content, both of which cause aflatoxin contamination. Number 1. Nigeria. Food waste per capita equals 189. Nigeria, officially the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a country in West Africa. It covers an area of 923,769 square kilometers, and with a population of over 230 million, it is the most populous country in Africa, and the world's sixth most populous country. Together, agriculture, forestry, and fisheries contributed over 23.4% of Nigeria's GDP in 2021. The world's leading producer of cassava is Nigeria. Maize, rice, millet, yam beans, and Guinea corn, sorghum, are further important crops. Nigeria produced $20.9 million in revenue from natural rubber exports in 2019, placing it in the top 20 global exporters. Nigeria was self-sufficient in food before the Nigerian Civil War and the oil boom. Nigeria's main source of foreign exchange earnings used to be agriculture. Nigeria's population is growing at a rate that agriculture cannot keep up with, and the country now depends on food imports to survive. It buys food for $6.7 billion a year, 4 times more than it makes from exporting food. Nigeria produced 5 million tons of rice annually, climbing 10% from 2017 to 18 to 2021 out of 22, but it was unable to meet the rising demand. Thus, the amount of rice imported annually stayed at 2 million tons. In an attempt to increase domestic production, Nigeria blocked its borders with Benin and other neighbors in August 2019. This was done to prevent the smuggling of rice into the nation. Like Rwanda, the majority of food waste in Nigeria occurs throughout the manufacturing phase as well as during handling, storing, processing, and transportation after harvest. Food loss can be caused by a number of things, including infections, pests, improper handling techniques, and inadequate infrastructure. In Nigeria, inadequate facilities for processing and storing food have been identified as the primary cause of food waste. Now we have seen the top 5 countries with most food wastages, in terms of per capita food wastage. But, if we see the food wastage, in terms of total food waste quantity, below are the top 3 contributors. First place, China. Over 91 million tons of food waste are produced annually in China. Even though China reports huge amounts of food waste, the world's most populous nation certainly shouldn't be too surprised by the findings. India is ranked second. Over 68 million tons of food waste are produced in India annually. Similar to China, India naturally produces more food waste due to its enormous population. Number 3. USA. Over 19 million tons of food waste are produced annually in the U.S. The U.S. is unable to argue that population growth is the primary cause of food waste, unlike India or China. Let us hope everything will get better in future, and with that, let us conclude today's session. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you and bye-bye.